Hello, everyone. This is spiritual teacher and intuitive healer Matthew John here. Thank you for joining me here on my YouTube channel for another video. So today I'm presenting a very controversial yet very important topic. I want to discuss gender norms and the intersection of gender norms and the New Age community. So as I warned, this is a very controversial topic. I fully expect that many will agree with me and many will not. I'm here to be honest. I'm not here to placate to an audience necessarily. So I've noticed this segment of the New Age community where there's this emphasis on divine masculinity and divine femininity. And, for those that teach men, it's teaching men how to be more manly, how to be more in their divine masculine. And for women, it's teaching women how to be more feminine, how to be more in their divine feminine. And I fully appreciate that there is something to this. There is a need for this. Okay. Especially when it comes to heterosexual, cisgendered relationships that are struggling because there may have been this polarity in the beginning of the relationship, in the beginning of the marriage. And polarity in this context, I mean, there was a lot of, just to be blunt, sexual attraction. And over the years, as it does generally in relationships, especially marriages, that often wanes. And by teaching the man in the relationship to be more in his divine masculine, teaching the woman in the relationship to be more in her divine feminine, it can absolutely help to restore this polarity between the two. It restores sexual attraction. To be quite blunt, sex is very important to the health of most relationships. There certainly are exceptions. There are asexual people, and it's not important to them. But for most, it is crucial to the infrastructure, the energetic infrastructure of the relationship and how the relationship plays out. So I fully appreciate that that's helpful. I also fully appreciate that there's many men that have never truly felt super masculine and they want to, or they really are at their best. They end up being at their best in their relationship or marriage, in their business, in their job, health wise, when they're super in the masculine energy. And I fully appreciate that there's women that likewise feel super in it in their relationship, in it in their business, in it in their health and their happiness when they're super in the divine feminine energies. Absolutely. I'm not discounting the value of this sort of work. And in fact, often I've suggested this sort of thing for people, especially that are in, struggling marriages, that want to help restore excitement and energetic health, so to speak, in the relationship, the energetic health of the relationship. However, as with everything in life, as with everything in spirituality, it's nuanced. Okay. The idea of the polarity of the masculine and feminine energies is very nuanced. And I do struggle with seeing sometimes out there an oversimplification or only emphasizing this masculine feminine polarity. What is sometimes I feel underemphasized and underserved is the fact that this won't work for everyone because not everyone wants it, because not all men feel great when they're being super masculine, and not all women feel great when they're being super feminine. And there's a whole third gender, and debate me, unsubscribe. I know a lot of people are going to get triggered by this, but look around. There is a third gender. There are non-cisgendered people out there. Okay. And these people are not going to fall into these very easy categories of being masculine or being feminine. Okay. And the truth is that all of us, whether we're a man, a woman, or a third gender, we have both masculine and feminine energies within. Okay. I have a beard, but I have long hair. It's in a bun right now, which is quite feminine, arguably, right? I grew up playing hockey and baseball, and I am obsessed with sports, which are pretty masculine. And I love baby talking with my animals and singing silly songs and hugging trees. I like Taylor Swift. Not my favorite, but I like her music, and most men, shouldn't like Taylor Swift, right? I like musicals. I actually would love to create a musical someday myself based on my spiritual journey. When I was in the first and second grade, I remember there was like a playground game, and we would split into boys versus girls. And for some reason, I always was on the girls' team. The girls at that time, I guess, liked me and thought I was a great asset to their team. I kind of evened things out, as far as the boys versus girls game, because I was a little bit stronger than the girls, obviously. I forgot what we were doing. It was like some tag game or something like that. Then I remember I had like a friend when I was really young, and I don't know, I must have been in like third grade or something like that. And I'd go over her house and she'd like play Barbies with me. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I thought it was cool, actually. And of course I had more friends that were boys that we did more boy things, but I also had these friends that were girls, and they wanted to do girl stuff. I remember being in like, I don't know what grade, still very young, and it was over like two girls out, they were like doing my hair. I remember like going through my parents' closet when I was young, and putting on like a, not a dress, but some like long like tunic or something, and putting on lipstick and like taking a wooden spoon and like singing in front of the mirror. And it's just an exploration of the feminine energies, right? It's natural for all of us to explore masculine, feminine. I always felt like I had a balance between masculinity and femininity. Feel like I do now. And that's me. And I don't feel a need to be hyper masculine. I think this is why maybe a lot of women feel like they can relate to me. A lot of my clients and followers, the majority are women. I'm very sympathetic to women's needs. I remember being a woman in other lifetimes. I am glad I'm not a woman in this lifetime, to be honest. I prefer not having to go through menstruation and all that jazz, but I am very sympathetic. I'm a hyper feminist, I'll tell you that. The Dobbs decision really pissed me off. Anything that is suppressing women's rights really, really bothers me, and I wave that flag, and proudly. And the same when it comes to LGBTQ plus rights as well. There's this argument out there that, oh, why should the rest of normal society, normal Christian, white heterosexual society pander to this very very tiny minority? Well, because these people have been suppressed over time, over generations, over millennia. That's why it's an unequal playing field. But the point I want to make is that for some people, yes, going hyper divine masculine or hyper divine feminine will work wonders for your well-being, mental health, and relationships. For others, okay, it'll do the opposite. It'll make someone feel worse about themselves. It'll make them feel repressed, more repressed, like they're repressing their true selves. The point I want to make is that you do you. Okay. If you are a man that's more feminine, be more feminine. If you are homosexual, be homosexual. If you're heterosexual, be heterosexual. If you're bisexual, be bisexual. Okay. If you want to change your gender, obviously that's something to be thought about thoroughly, but do it if it feels you. I want to read a passage from my good friend Todd Deviney's book called Expansion for Ascending Consciousness. Okay. And if you click the description box below, you can check out two great videos I did with him last year. This is in the first book, page 24 to 25. During the numerous incarnations, however, an aspect will become comfortable identifying as one gender or the other. Sometimes a life is planned as the less familiar gender for a certain experience. The consciousness then begins a lifetime and finds itself uncomfortable and unable to identify with the vehicle it has chosen. Your planetary collective is now at a point where the gender can be changed within an incarnation. You observe this phenomenon manifesting itself as the consciousness attempts to change the vehicle to the one it prefers. That is transgenderism from a soul's perspective, from a collective consciousness perspective. Okay. It's that transgenderism and this gender blurring and the blurring of the polarities between the genders, in my opinion, is not coming about so much as an agenda from the Illuminati, although there may be that agenda there. But there's something deeper underneath the surface, and it's actually something coming from the collective, because everything that happens on Earth, there is some resonance with the intentions of the collective, maybe conscious, maybe not conscious, maybe unconscious intentions of the planetary collective of humankind. But it's coming about as a real world manifestation of us as a planet trying to rebalance the polarities because the feminine energies have been suppressed so much by the dark shadow patriarchal energies. That's a big part of it. But also because of our ascension process as a collective, we are learning to let go of judgment of uniqueness, because honoring uniqueness is it's honoring life, because all of life is unique. That's why there's billions and billions or trillions of different species of life on Earth. This is just Earth. The diversity of thought and the diversity of values and the diversity of how people want to express themselves and how they feel inside. That's a beautiful thing that without that, we wouldn't have the beauty, in my opinion, of the human race. So whatever people want to do, let's let them do it as a society. That's my my ask of society, and I know many others agree. And let's let people that have been suppressed through generations have a louder voice if they need it. Why does what someone else is doing out there bother you if you're not them? Let them be them. Let them have their celebrations and their parades and their cultures and all that. Why does it bother you? Right? Because a lot of people, I believe it's triggering something within them. It's triggering something within them that is not fully integrated or honored as far as their masculine and feminine energies. Every year Pornhub releases the most search terms by states, and I'm certainly not endorsing that site or pornography in any way. I'm just saying, if you look at the results, it's quite astonishing, and it really shows the power of the shadow, the power of that which is repressed in people ends up being something they seek out in private. And, in the South, there's a lot of strap-on and even trans searches more than other states. And not to shit on the South, telling you what it is. You can search it for yourself if you want to see which state, searches for which. So I just believe that people that are third gender, people that are transgender are here to open us. They're here to open us up as a collective to honoring all aspects of self. I look at that as much more relevant than the estrogenic compounds that are in foods. Sure, there's estrogenic compounds in foods, and it's gotten worse and it's causing health problems. I fully understand that, and I fully encourage people, and I only eat as best I can organic foods. Okay. And non-estrogenic foods. However, there's still about what 90% people are straight, 10% of people are not. It's kind of always been like that, it seems, except it wasn't out in the open. It was closeted. So is it really about the estrogenic foods, right? Is it really about the media, brainwashing people into questioning their sex or their gender? Or is there something deeper, which I believe is there something that's coming from a collective level, the collective planetary consciousness that is asking us to integrate and honor all aspects of self and all aspects of the masculine and the feminine. So if you are a man that's watching this and this helps you to be okay with your femininity, great. If you're a man that's watching this and it reinforces that you really feel at your absolute best when you're in your masculine energies, whatever that is, whether it's yelling with other men on some retreat or throwing logs in a forest or playing baseball or hockey or golf or whatever it is, I like those things too. The first one, I'm not, I don't want to just yell in a group with people. Maybe the right people, I'd enjoy it. But if you're a woman that is an athlete, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't feel as comfortable in your feminine energies. You probably were a man in the life right before this, and you want to just try out being a woman, but you still carried a lot of the masculine energies within you. So maybe it's about balance, or maybe you just always carry a bit more of masculinity, in you than most other women, right? I mean, we wouldn't have the WNBA, we wouldn't have the PHF, we wouldn't have all of NCAA sports, having women's clubs for all sports except for American football. If there weren't a massive amount of girls and women that enjoy the masculine side of things, the athletics, right? So it's just honor who you are, and astrology plays a role in it too. If you're if you're an Aries male, or you're an Aries rising, or you got a lot of Mars or Aries placements, of course you're going to be super hyper in the masculine. If you're a woman that's got a lot of these Aries placements, you're going to also be super in the masculine, and it'll be this interplay of trying to integrate that in this lifetime. An Aries woman generally will not do well in a relationship where she's not wearing the pants. Okay, so that just busts that whole myth of the only way to have a healthy heterosexual relationship is to have this polarity where the man is super manly and the woman is super man. Try that with an Aries woman. It ain't gonna work. An Aries woman has to carry the more masculine frame. She'll do well with with a man that's more comfortable in a feminine frame. Okay. And vice versa. There's women that are very comfortable in that feminine frame and really enjoy the polarity of a feel safest in the polarity of a very, very masculine man. I'm a Scorpio man. I'm complex, I guess. I've got, I think, a pretty good balance between, it's actually one of the things I pride myself on most, is that I feel very balanced in my masculine feminine energies, where I can play both very well, and feel good about being in either of those energies. And it's same left brain, right brain. Left brain analytical, very masculine. Right brain is the feminine, is more intuitive, and I like to balance both. A Pisces man, for example, generally they're not going to do great having to be in a hyper masculine state. Pisces is a very feminine energy. So take this video as you will. I'm just waving the flag for inclusivity, and I'm waving the flag to end the stigmas against people that are third gender, people that are transgendered. I've had many of these people as clients or following my work over the years. And I've always found them very interesting to talk to understand where they came from, their story, and, why they are the way they are. For example, with homosexual people, I very often see that there was a very specific reason. It's actually pretty much unequivocal from a soul perspective when I do soul plan reading, that there was a very specific purpose for them choosing to be homosexual in this life. And it has to do with balancing out the masculine and feminine energies, things that were very unbalanced in other lifetimes. And a lot of times also things that were very unbalanced in the family lineage, which is why very often it is, the thing when people come out to their family, that it's very difficult, because a lot of times it's an energy that's been so repressed in the family that energy has been passed down, and then finally someone breaks free and says, no, I'm going to embrace this and be who I feel I am. And then that helps to reintegrate the energetics of the family lineage, as well as the person's past life lineage from a soul perspective. So it's hard to change people's perspectives on things. Generally, people find kind of a groupthink or a thought collective and hang on to it, and it's usually hard to get them to change. This is why most of the time people have similar political beliefs throughout their life. But there are people that sometimes, just hearing things from a different perspective, they actually do say, oh, maybe that could be, just if you're someone that is all about, no, this third genderism, this transgenderism is wrong, it's unnatural, it's not what God wants, or it's not how we're supposed to be. It's just ask yourself a couple questions. Why is homosexuality very prevalent in the animal kingdom? If you don't believe me, look it up. Why are dolphins homosexual? Not all of them, obviously, just some of them. Okay, that's one question. The other question I would ask is, what goes on outside of this planet? What lessons can we take from that? Because I can tell you from years of researching galactic races, galactic collectives, that the Pleiadians have a lot of gender fluidity. Okay, they have relationships that are traditional. They have relationships that are homosexual. They have relationships that are bisexual. They have relationships that are polyamorous, group situations. The Sirians are more traditional. For example, the Sirians are generally man and woman. And then there's other races that aren't. They don't even procreate like that. They have a different method. It's just different for everyone. But the fact that the Pleiadians have a lot of gender fluidity, how could that be if like, oh, this is the only planet where we're betraying God's wishes just by by having third genders or transgenderism? Could it be true what I read from Todd's book, that some souls may feel more comfortable because they're more used to being the opposite gender or sex, and so they want to go in that direction, right? Could that be true? And ask yourself, if you're a heterosexual cisgendered person, why does it bother you? What does it matter? Why not let everyone make their own choices on this based on how they feel inside, right? Why can it not be a good thing that people are more accepting of uniqueness than before? So I just wanted to present my thoughts to you on this, and please leave a comment below in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I know this is a controversial topic, so I want to hear what you think. Just please be respectful. And if we want to have a polite, conductive dialogue in the community about the topic of the blurring of gender norms, or transgenderism, or third genderism, or what it means on a soul level or from a collective level, let us know. Let us know in the comments section. So thank you for joining. Please like and subscribe. Please share this video if you found it interesting or helpful. And I am enrolling people for Ascending as One. Here are all the details. We have weekly live video calls on Sundays, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time via Zoom. Okay, different teaching each week, group healing meditations, group EFT tapping, weekly astrology updates, live readings on each call. Yep. A Q&A on each call. All topics open. Yep. Includes my acclaimed webinars and courses due on the side. A Telegram group to connect with other students 24/7. Free merchandise. Discounts on full private sessions, webinars, class, and retreats. No commitment necessary. Cancel anytime you want. There's a tier 2 membership, which includes 3 group calls per month and 1 free course per month, plus some discounts. And you can join for a month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And then there's VIP, which I highly recommend. It's got 4 group calls per month, 3 free courses per month, a 20-minute private reading with me every month. And you get some other perks as well. And these are the prices here. All the options are in the description box below. I do channel a group of Sirian extraterrestrial beings. How cool is that? And I only do it on these VIP calls. It's the only place I channel publicly. Okay, everyone. So if you want to join Ascending as One or get more details, go to the description box below. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Namaste.